Okay, it's about damn time. We're finally doing it today. Korean lasagna. This is an idea that Sam Udz sent me 2 to 3 months ago, and I just finally got around to writing a recipe, figuring out how I can do this. I've been so excited to do this. It's just gonna be absolutely insane. Pretty similar to my Korean burrito where I just threw a bunch of things together but it really worked out. I'm hoping the same thing happens today. This is gonna be easily the most ambitious video I've ever done. There's going to be so much going on. We're going to be doing a Korean bolognese, a gochujang bechamel sauce, put that all together to make a delicious lasagna. I have a feeling it's going to turn out really good. To help me with all the cooking and prep today, I'm going to have a helper. Say hi to Tony.
Hi.
Alright, let's get to it.
Pew, pew, pew.
We're going to do all of our prep first. So right here I have 4 green onions. We'll cut off the hairy bits. We'll thinly slice these. So all the green onions are chopped up. We will use the majority of them to prepare our bulgogi bolognese. Put most of them into a large bowl because we'll be mixing all the meat in here. And then reserve some for garnish at the very end. Throw it in a smaller bowl here. Then we'll do 4 button mushrooms. Pluck out the stems here.
And remember the compost, kids.
Thinly slice these. Okay, same thing, we will transfer these to the big bowl we'll be doing our bulgogi in. Next, 1 carrot here, 1 pretty deformed carrot, but that's fine. Chop off the ends here. Just cut them into manageable chunks for the food processor to handle. Next, I got 2 stalks of celery. Same idea here, we'll cut off the ends and cut them into smaller pieces. Then lastly, we have 1 onion. Cut up the ends here. Bottom, the top, and half. And then we'll peel 4 cloves of garlic. We'll set these vegetables off to the side. We're gonna get the meat ready right away. With these 4 cloves of garlic, we're gonna crush it into this big bowl. Now, we're going to add in 2 pounds of ground meat, whatever you want to do. I'm using Beyond Meat today. I'm usually Team Impossible Meat, but Beyond Meat came out with a new formula and I guess it's a little better now. If you don't want to use plant-based meat, use ground beef, whatever you want. 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of corn syrup, 1/4 cup of sesame oil, 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 40 cranks of black pepper. Comes my least favorite part, mixing it. It's best to do it by hand, so. So our bulgogi mixture is done. We'll set this off to the side and let it do a quick marinate while we prep the other ingredients. So just throw this all in the food processor. And if you don't have a food processor, just do a very fine mince in all these and you'll be fine. But this is just because I'm making my life easier. Get some of the bigger chunks back in here. We want to basically try to get this as fine as possible. This is the consistency you should be looking for. So let's move over to the stove. Okay, so I have a Dutch oven on medium-high heat. I love to use Dutch ovens for bolognese or any sauce that takes a long time to cook because it retains heat very well and it's just a large cooking vessel. So we will first cook off our bulgogi mix. Don't need to add any oil. There's plenty of oil in the mixture itself, so we'll just go ahead and dump all of it in, cook it off. And because there's a lot of liquid in the marinade itself, you're gonna have to cook until all that liquid evaporates and it's gonna kind of seep back into the meat to make it really flavorful. I'm guessing this will take at least 10 minutes. So this is after about 5 minutes of cooking. We can see a lot of the moisture has evaporated. We still have a bit to go. All right, so most of the moisture has evaporated. This is about 10 minutes later. Now this is really where the meat is gonna start to sear, so make sure you're stirring every once in a while so it doesn't stick to the bottom. The meat is to a good point, so I'm gonna scoop it out, put it in another bowl. We have a nice layer of fond developing at the bottom here. We're going to deglaze pretty soon here. Now we'll go in with our vegetables. So using your wooden spoon, just try to scrape up any of the bits on the bottom. If there's any stubborn bits, we will pick those up with alcohol, but it should all come up. Like, look at that. Same thing that we did with the meat, we're going to cook this and draw out all the moisture. This will take 5 minutes. Vegetables are really dry now. You can see at the bottom here, the vegetables are starting to stick, which is good. That means we're at a good spot. Add the meat back into the pan. Mix this all together. And then we're going to add 1 cup of white wine. We're gonna scrape up all that fond and get it back into here. And so we're going to cook this mixture until all of the wine has evaporated. Okay, 1 cup of oat milk, and then I have 1 cup of water. I'm opting to use water instead of stock because I don't want there to be too many flavors going on with the bulgogi seasonings. Next, I'll add 2 bay leaves. I'm gonna grate in some fresh nutmeg. I think fresh goes a long way. We're gonna let this reduce a bit longer. I'm gonna move this to another burner, put it on medium-low heat, and just let it simmer away. And we're going to be making our gochujang bechamel. All right, I have another pot here. It's just a simple non-stick, and that's fine. We're going to be adding a whopping 6 tablespoons of butter. This is plant butter, medium heat. Now let's put in our butter. Our flour, and I'm going to let my beautiful and smart fiance do this because I suck at doing this. And you're going to whisk constantly, lightly cooking the flour until it becomes a roux. And the roux is a combination of flour and butter. Now we have 6 cups of oat milk, but you're gonna add a little bit at a time, whisking constantly. This took about 10 minutes actually. Look how thick that is. Yep. We're gonna add a bit more salt here. It's still pretty bland, which is as to be expected. And then here comes the Korean part. 2 tablespoons of gochujang. So it's very important when you make bechamel to keep stirring because it tends to stick at the bottom and it'll clump up, and we want to avoid that. So keep it moving. I think our bechamel is ready. So now we're gonna go ahead and preheat our oven to 350 degrees and we'll get ready to assemble. Okay, now we're gonna layer the lasagna. This is a 9 by 13 baking pan. We have this over a baking pan just in case the sides boil over, but I don't think it will, but better safe than sorry. We'll start off with a thin layer of our beautiful cream bolognese. 3 noodles, and these are the no boil lasagnas, so this just makes it easy. Go 3 nudes on the bottom. Then we'll do about 1/3 of our bolognese. And then we'll do 1/3 of our gochujang bechamel.
She thick.
She thick! And then we're going to use mozzarella. I'm using a plant-based shredded mozzarella, and this is Violite. We'll use 1/3 of this. And now we'll repeat that step 2 more times until we're done. And then I'm gonna garnish it with a little bit of sesame seeds. This will cook for 25 minutes covered, and then we will take off the foil and cook for another 25 minutes. So after a long 15 minutes, the lasagna is finally done. We have to let it rest for 15 minutes, otherwise it's just gonna be a goopy mess when you take it out. So the 15 minutes is up. Now I'm going to garnish with some fresh green onion on the top. And the cheese didn't get 100% melted, which is fine. That's just what happens with plant-based cheeses, but still looks delicious. Now we're all garnished up, looks all pretty. Now you can cut into it and serve. Korean lasagna. This was a process. It was a journey.
It was a journey.
It's 10:20 right now. We've been at it since 7, but
It's gonna be worth it.
it's gonna be worth it. Hopefully it's not like too much going on, you know? Green Onski. Alright. Wow. Whoa.
What's going on in that head of yours?
Whoa.
Blowing your mind?
It's so creamy. It's not overly spicy, but it kind of kicks you in the back of the throat. So much savoriness from the Korean bolognese. Wow. I wish I put more noodles in, but I've never had anything like it.
No, it's really good.
That's like, wow.
I just don't think I've ever had anything like it. Like I've had bulgogi, I've had lasagna that doesn't taste anything like the typical lasagna that you've probably had growing up or that you make. It's so good.
It's familiar but very foreign at the same time.
Yeah.
When I look at it, I'm like, oh, that looks like a discolored lasagna. But when I eat it, it tastes like Korean flavors. One thing I was very nervous about is I thought there'd be too much going on, but it's not.
No.
It all works
Everything
out.
complements each other. I do like garnishing with the green onion. I feel like it gives it a little bit of a crunch.
So I did wish I put a little bit more noodles in it, but like everything else just works together. My favorite part of this is the bolognese, the Korean bolognese.
Honestly, I was eating it on its own before he put it together, and it is so good.
The bechamel is good because it acts as like a, I don't know, it kind of coats everything and makes it really creamy. It doesn't have too much flavor on its own, but the hint of gochujang mixes things up. If I were to do this again, and I will post this in the recipe itself, I would say do 12 noodles instead of 9. It needs more noodles.
4 on each layer.
As it is right now, it's really saucy because you know what you can do with the extra sauce.
Dip your bread in it.
So this is just some sourdough bread. I'm just gonna do a little bit of this.
Oh, me?
Is that too big of a bite? Sorry. Oh, man.
What do you think of the Beyond Meat instead of the Impossible that we normally use?
Their new formula is better
Yeah.
than it used to be, but I think I still prefer Impossible Meat. It's not bad. If Impossible Meat is an A, Beyond Meat's an A minus. Sam, again, thanks again for submitting this idea. It's like really cool. I never would have thought about it in a million years. So you helped create a one-of-a-kind dish today. Hope it lives up to your expectations, and looking forward to any other crazy ideas you have or anybody else has. Always happy to make it. Again, I might not make it right away because I need to do research to make sure it tastes all right, but I think we did good today. This is good. Oh my god. Thank you so much for watching.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Nope, that's not. Please let us know what you'd like to see next. Oh man. Please let us know what you'd like to see next.
Please like, comment, and
subscribe.
subscribe. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.